This is Abdullah Kashmul, Class CIS 220, Data Structure and Elementary Algorithm, and this is Week 10 assignment, Transient Data Queue Search. This is my main class where I'm running all the other classes. This class, just to make my containers, the first thing I need to find is the range so that I am able to divide it by 4, then add it to the minimum number, and that will give me the range for the first container, add it again, the range for the second container, and so on. So I needed to get the maximum number and the minimum number too, and that will give me also the ranges of the first and second, third, fourth containers. And by range, I mean what is its minimum number and maximum number. Of course, the first number is going to be 0 to whatever number, and these two numbers are going to give me the range for the second container. So it doesn't matter if I added the different twice or the range divided by 2 and added to that number. The difference is going to be one number. As long as I stick to it, it's going to be correct. So I also added them to a list, to a file, so that I can call them whenever I want. Second thing, I needed to make the container by using those ranges from above. So as you can see, I can open container 1 to 4, and also there is a counter to count how many numbers in each list in case I needed to use it later, which was really helpful. So basically I'm reading the number and I'm checking if it's in the first range, second range, third range. If not, it's in the fourth range, and just save that number to that list, which created my 4 different containers and also counted the numbers in the first container, second container, and so on. And I was able to save it in the counters. Then the next thing, I needed to put them back in one file, even though it's going to be the same as the original, but it's kind of sorted into 4 sections, being the first one has the least number and goes into the higher numbers, and so on. These 2 classes are just to return me the ranges that I already created and the counters, which means how many numbers I have in each container. That is going to be helpful for me when it comes to writing the program or finding the different searches. First thing was the range. Of course, I had to do it again because now I'm dealing with my container that I created. And it was way easier than before. And the reason why it's easier is when I'm looking for the minimum number, it's going to be in the first quarter. So I only need to search the first quarter in here, which I already saved. In this case, I used the counter, which is the number of numbers in the first container. Then I skipped all the first and second container. This number is the total number in the second and third container. And to find my max number, I needed to jump it to the fourth container in the file. But since it's one file, so I need to jump all that. And then look for the maximum number at the end of the section of that file, the container that I created. Then it returns me back. I also built a time to calculate the time that's taken in each task. For the most and least common, that was kind of tricky. The reason why is because I need to get each number and search for its repeated number in that section. So what I needed to do is I needed to create a loop for each section and by itself. First, it's going to check the number. Then it's going to see the if conditions are going to see if it's the first section, second section, third section. If it's in the first section, it's going to do a while loop that is searching only the first section. And I'm using the length from that I already saved because I already counted the length of each container. If it's in the second one, so on, and it's going to only search in the second container. Of course, before that, I need to skip whatever values in the beginning when I'm reading the file again. And same for the third section, I'm also skipping whatever values in the beginning so that it makes it faster. So rather than having to search all the values, I'm only search 1/4 of the values, which is why it is faster. And then give me back the max appearance and the minimum appearance. And for the non-repeated list, that did not make any difference because it's the same. I'm still going to have to read the whole file and create a list that is not repeated. Now to run it, I'm going to run it, pause it because it's going to take a while. Now we're back from pausing the file. this is the largest number, the smallest numbers, and giving me the range, the most common, the least common, and it took about 171 minutes to run to find the least common and most common. And this is the non-repeated list, and it took about 63 seconds. There's also another section I forgot, I think. Yes, the range, it took about 0.33 seconds to find, so it is much faster, but yet not faster than the index search.